welcome back. Joining us on the couch now is Robert Brandoni with Shoulder to Shoulder, a great local organization with an event coming up. Robert, thanks for joining us this morning.
Yep, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So let's just talk Shoulder to Shoulder.
Sure.
Can you explain what that organization is,
Yeah,
where it came from?
yeah, Shoulder to Shoulder actually started in the Valley. It was kind of conceived when I was assistant headmaster at Vail Mountain School. I was teaching ethics, and this became kind of an extension of what I was doing there. And basically, it is a partnership between schools and nonprofit organizations, NGOs around the world. And what we do is we put together with them field studies in ethical leadership. And so we work with students around the country and outside of the country as well. And we work on 4 different continents. And the idea is to put students in front of models of ethical leadership. And so every year we have an annual forum here in Vail called the Ethical Leadership Forum. And it's an opportunity to bring all of our partners together and invite the public in to talk about this idea of ethical leadership.
I love that. And how important is that kind of message of ethical leadership? It sounds like a broad thing, but really in the nitty-gritty of any business or organization, you know, that should be at the forefront.
Sure. Yeah, we believe that every pressing issue on the planet, if you peel back the onion, you get to an issue of leadership. And so that's why we feel as though adolescents, high school students in particular, are at a ripe age where they want to learn this and they respond to the inspiration of people around them. We talk often about the power of moral leadership and moral example. And so we are always looking for people to bring our students to. But what we have found is that what's essential is that we bring all of the stakeholders together to do this together. We're a nonprofit, so we bring together businesses, a lot of local businesses and businesses around the world, and also schools. As I said, we have school partners around the country, one outside of the country, and our NGO partners, and also philanthropists. So we bring all of these together, and in our case, we even bring local government in.
Wow.
So this, the Ethical Leadership Forum has many sponsors, business sponsors, but the event sponsors, the town of Vail, has been with us for years and has really made it possible for us to get to the point where we are, along with the Borgen Family Foundation. And then we have 2 other businesses, Ship Glide, which is an international business, and Blue Sky Imagine.
That's awesome. So when you get all those organizations together, what's like the big aha moment when you have so many representatives?
Right, that's a good question. I think probably that moment is the realization that there is a shared value in the room. So our idea behind, when people hear ethical leadership, they usually don't even ask questions about it, like, what do we mean?
Right.
You know, and what we do mean about that is that it is seeing as inextricable the idea of success in any way that you might define it, with the public good. So in really just strict basic terms of business, usually we think of success as a single dimension, making money. And our response to that is, that's great. We're in a capitalistic society, make all the money you want. But when you're making all that money, do something good for society.
Definitely.
At least don't do anything bad. Make all the money you want, don't trounce on society in order to do it.
Definitely.
And when we say society, we obviously, I don't know if it's obvious, but we mean the environment, we mean all of society.
Yeah, so I mean, really dig into it. Ethical leadership, is that everything from like employee rights, sustainability?
It's all of that. And even at this year's forum is going to be really interesting. One of our sessions is going to be a panel discussion with a group of leaders from B corporations. And B corporations are just that.
Right.
Sometimes people don't know what that is. I always use the example of Patagonia is a B Corp. But there are a number of B Corps, and we even have one. We might have more, but we have one in our own valley that will be on the panel.
Awesome.
His name's Slade Cogswell, and he is the owner of 970 Design. Yeah. So he will be there, and we have a number of people from Boulder and in Denver as well. And they actually going to be interviewed by a woman who is she's an international business consultant, and she's a B Corp as well, her firm. So yeah, it's showing different models of how to conduct business, education, even your philanthropic interests in a way that can address the kind of what we call the pressing needs in society.
Yeah, I mean, how important for kids, to be learning that. So obviously they're working on that year round, but this event is kind of a culmination of all that work. Kind of bringing it all together.
Exactly that, and it's meant to be more than just a time to speak theoretically. It's really meant to be a time to bring practitioners in to provide actionable ideas for everybody. We want people to leave feeling motivated and generating ideas, be inspired, whatever sector they're from, to leave this forum thinking we can move our school, our business, maybe our family foundation, we can move it in a direction that has a greater impact.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. It's on the 19th. Where is it?
It's on the 18th.
Yeah, on the 18th.
Yeah, that's
I'm sorry.
Okay. That's okay.
How can people sign up? Is there a cost? How can people get involved?
The easiest thing to do is go to the forum's website, which is ethicalleadershipforum.org. And that will take you through how to register and make sure that you are registered. We hope we're going to sell out. That's the objective, and right now it looks like we're getting enough interest to do so.
Yeah. So obviously here in the Valley, I would like to think we have a lot of ethically sound businesses and organizations. There's so many people and groups doing great work here.
Right.
You mentioned you work internationally.
Right.
What's the rest of the world like? Are we on pace with the rest of the world in this category?
Right. That's a good question, and I don't want to overgeneralize with that. And when we're working internationally, we're working with NGOs.
Gotcha.
So and we do that intentionally because it's a little more raw, if you will. Yeah. I mean, it's really exposing and giving light to really unique kind of leadership that's moving communities forward with very little resources. So, I don't want to make a judgment about other nations around, but I do think that I just spoke actually at a conference in Kenya, and what I'm seeing is that people in their 20s and 30s, they are very much in tune with this internationally. And so I have a lot of faith and a lot of hope in these generations moving forward. And I will also add that my experience in working with older generations is equally as positive. Kind of looking and saying, look, it looks like we need to do things differently, and they might be in a position to support what we're doing with these generations coming forward.
Love that. Love that. Thanks so much for joining us. Check out Shoulder to Shoulder, this event coming up on the 18th. For everyone to get involved, whether you're a business owner or kind of starting. I'll also mention, as a consumer, think about the products you buy and what businesses you buy from, and if they're ethically sound. So, Robert, anything else you want to add? Anything else we missed?
No, it's open. If anybody wants to bring a group of people, their staff, their friends, or whatever. We're a nonprofit. The cost is basically what it costs us to do it. We're just passing that cost on. However, if that's an issue, and people can get a hold of me, they'll figure that out on the website, and we're happy to go out and try to make that possible.
Love it. Check out the website for more information. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll be right back with more of the show.